Yo, what's going on, people? Wrestle Purist Podcast, we're back again. Myself, Hulbert, Phil. Hopefully Lyric will be joining us shortly. But yeah, as always, a lot going on in pro wrestling. The long road to WrestleMania continues, but WWE threw a lot at the wall yesterday. MSG, you know. I think they've seen a lot of the, a lot of people kind of worrying about the card not coming together. And you see this a lot. It's not exclusive to WWE in pro wrestling, where, fans will be talking about a card not coming together and the booker will miraculously remember that they got a pay-per-view coming up imminently and just throw together 4 official matches on the same show. But it was MSG, so I'm sure they were planning some big stuff for it anyway. But, a lot going on the road to WrestleMania, of course. AEW Dynamite's looking pretty stacked tomorrow, obviously on the road to Dynasty, with that huge main event of Kenny and MJF. And man, there's all that stuff and more going on. It's always active, as always. So no notes today, no show notes or anything like that, as usual, calling it in the ring. So keep it active in the chat. Let us know what you want to be talking about, what you want to get into and stuff, you know what I mean? And yeah, we'll dive into it. But first things first. Phil, what's going on, brother? You good? It's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm good. I did watch this episode of Raw. As I told you guys when I watched it, I was like, yeah, that was the episode. Some things happened. It was in New York.
Yeah, a lot happened. I don't know how much of it was good, but a lot happened. Things happened.
Yeah, listen, minor details.
Some of it was very random, but we'll get into that. But Hulbert, how was your weekend, bro? How you been?
Life is the way it is now. When you say, how was your weekend? I go, I don't know. No clue. It happened for sure. I can't recall what I did, but I was around. I did the Tokyo Joshi Pro grin along. That wiped me out on Sunday. That's why. Okay. All right. I remember it now. It was good.
Worth it.
It's been a busy month, crazy month, but a good month nonetheless. Happy to be here back in the Tuesday slot with yourself, Phil, and it seems to be Lyric. I'm happy to be here, mate.
Yeah, hopefully Lyrical filing. Kyle already on to me in the chat. I accidentally ratioed him this past weekend.
That was crazy, bro. Yeah. And it was a very Hulbertian idea too. That was.
It was an accident.
Why did that bang like that? Legitimately.
This is what I'm saying. Sometimes you quote
really
tweet your pal.
Yeah, I know you were just doing a bit, but people, do you see how mad people were about the tag title thing you said?
I mean, it was,
It was tremendous. A tribute to Jim Crockett Promotions. Shout out, Cal.
So for those that don't know, which I assume is most, Kyle made the suggestion of if they do a brand split, there should be, he threw out the idea of mid-card tag team titles.
Beast mode.
Isn't that
United States tag team titles, Phil? What's up?
Isn't that like a paradox? Because aren't the tag titles technically mid-card titles?
So this is very important framework for this conversation. Cal was talking about his TW promotion. And he was just saying, does this lineup of belts work? Because I think, and I don't speak for Cal, but I think Cal's idea was my world tag title is going to be main event titles, so I want to have hierarchy, right? Montel WP quote tweets him. People then took it as him suggesting SmackDown should do this or something, Things really, they unraveled quick,
Hey, man. He DM'd me abuse as well. I didn't think that was deserved, to be honest. It was quite an innocent quote tweet.
Sorry. Excuse me.
But yeah, man, mid-card tag belts, not the best idea, we're not for it. But anyway, talking of tag belts, it's better than, mid-card tag belts might be better than what WWE is doing with the tag belts at the moment, because
Yeah, I mean, that's
Bro.
to be fair. Phil's right. They are mid-card belts all together now. So yeah.
Bro, you went from the Usos coming out like 2 weeks in a row and doing these Punk segments, never bringing the belts out. Don't see these guys with the belt at all. Come out, defend the belts against a tag team that nobody cares about, and then they lose. Like,
Trying to get heat, brother. Need to get heat on no-show speed, brother.
then you got speed in the
man.
middle of it. It's like, what? It's like
Feud, brother.
the last week or so, I was like, they've learned nothing from that whole Travis Scott situation last year and how people didn't like the Travis stuff in the main event last year, but they insist on putting Jelly Roll in it as many segments as possible. It's like, bro,
Big
Cody's
jelly.
Cody's laying in this rubble after he's gotten like beaten down by Randy Orton, and here comes Jelly Roll to react to it. It's just like, I don't think we needed that, but I guess.
Yeah, the big man.
Jelly Roll. Oh man.
One of the best matches on SmackDown.
Randy's such a big fan. Randy's such a big fan of Jelly Roll. It must have killed him to do that on Friday.
Listen, I'll give me Jelly Roll every day of the week and twice on Sunday over a Stephanie McMahon in-ring segment live.
Oh my
Bro,
god!
that was.
Oh my god!
At least the Jelly Roll segment made sense.
Oh my god!
I didn't. You know when I was watching that opening segment with Cody and Stephanie, and you know when you like repeatedly asking yourself throughout it, like, what is happening?
Yeah.
You know, like what is happening right now? Like, what has Stephanie got to do with any of this?
Why does Stephanie have all this smoke for Cody? And like, it was just so. Like, even the way he like turned her around when she's getting ready to walk away, I was like, is he gonna like give her a stunner?
It
Like,
was so yeah.
Imagine he did.
I didn't get
How great.
And even coming out of it, I don't know what I'm supposed to have taken from it.
No.
Stephanie McMahon, I got 2 words for you. Thank you. What?
And the crowd just kind of going, oh, that sucks. Yeah, okay.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Weird segment. That's
Cody's
like
freak, man.
a classic WWE TV segment is when someone warns the babyface, like, you're not ready for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a thing they've done throughout the years, but doing it with Stephanie McMahon was so bizarre. It was just very strange.
Yeah, her being the one, you're not ready for this version of Randy Orton. Because you see, a long time ago, he kicked me in the head in front of my husband. It's like, yeah, I guess, but like, Randy's coming out getting massive cheers, guys. I don't think this is doing what you think it's doing.
Strange. Very, very strange segment.
Such a strange. It's strange in many levels, you know. But it's like just a strange direction all round, you know. It's like they've turned Randy heel, and you would think that they would actually like be trying to get more heat on Randy, you know,
Yes.
and they haven't.
That's why he RKO'd Jelly Roll. They think that's
but
gonna get a boot.
how can you not know? Like, I thought creative wasn't senile anymore. Like, what's the thinking behind this?
Listen, I sat here and told you guys last time we talked about this. You got to turn Cody heel because this isn't going to work. Their fan base is conditioned to like nostalgia. They do not want to boo Randy Orton. And you're asking them to boo Randy Orton as a version that most people like. Then it's not going to happen.
Gonna be 09 Randy at Mania, brother.
That was always the challenge with turning Randy heel, is the people that like Randy were just going to be like unlocked by that further because they like him as a bad guy, as Phil just mapped out. And that was always going to be an issue. And with love and respect to our beloved Matt Cardona, he was not going to be the guy to change that.
What?
Montel's muted, he's so befuddled.
Yeah, no, I was moving. I didn't want to be squeaking.
Indie nerd.
My bad. Montel.
Just like I can't boo that, bro. That's the funniest thing I've seen in wrestling all year. Like,
that SmackDown main event was sensational in the sense of like, you could tell they just went, we don't want this to be 50-50, Orton's going to win, and he's going to do handwork. And he just did it like a cyborg. 6 minutes of handwork to just dead silence. The people just sat there and watched it. It was unbelievably funny, dude. And poor Cardona's selling, going, oh, God, my hand. He just keeps stomping on it.
Bro. Mark-ass stooge. Indie nerd.
Insane. He's a great heel, and people, the way it is now, people just go, God, it's always when he's a bad guy. That's the way people react. It's just very difficult.
Bro.
It's just weird. It's just weird choices, like the heat that.
Yeah.
So like I was just saying, like surely they must have knew it was going to be an uphill battle to make him actually like be received like a heel, boos, whatever, or even if just kind of I don't know, people just not absolutely loving everything that he does, you know, like trying at least be self-aware in that sense. But look what we're talking about, bro. They've tried to get heat. The people that they've used to get the heat on him is fucking Jelly Roll, Matt Cardona, bro. You know,
Well, hold on, good tag team.
there's other people within the WWE like universe, TM, but that they could, I don't know, that they could get heat on. You know, it's
I
if
howled.
they want to go that route.
Yeah, I was howling at that clip from Cody's podcast of Cardona calling Cody out. Like, yeah, remember you and Kevin Owens buried me for wanting to come back? And Cody tried to move on. He's like, you ain't even defend me. He's like, yeah, so anyway, how did you get the call to come back?
I didn't watch the pod, but I saw like a screenshot where Cardona had a suit on, and I just fucking pumped my fist, like just locked into next level. Make sure he has a good tan on for the Cody pod, beast mode. He's
That wheaty American vodka, brother. Pays well.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, it's an interesting one. You know, the thing that makes this kind of a unusual dynamic is I actually think as Mania comes together, I look at the card and go, I think it might be a good show, to be honest with you. Monty and I talked about this on Friday. I think the card is stronger than last year. That's not something I thought about a lot, but that's my gut feeling. But it's weird how the hype, I think there is so much just frustration with the creative that the hype seems down regardless, right? Like, I think the matches they're going to, most of them are good matches. It's just the way they're getting to them, they're not doing a lot to change the perception. They're kind of creatively washed, it seems.
Yeah, it's like people expect WrestleMania to be, and we've spoke about this ad nauseum at this point, but WrestleMania is meant to be like Endgame,
Right.
you know? It's where Cody finally toppled Roman Reigns and even had his first crack at it. Do you know what I mean? It's and all the other countless stories over the years of WrestleMania main events and WrestleMania moments and everything that comes with WrestleMania and all the allure of it. But so people expect more. So like, even on paper, like Seth Rollins versus Gunther, which obviously we'll kind of get into, they've just thrown that together. It'll be a great match.
Yeah.
Assumably it'll be a great match. But what's it really mean for either of those two people? It don't really mean anything, does it? Whereas you look at WrestleMania, and this is the thing that continues, like, it's been a thing that I've seen many times, especially over the past 24 hours, of like the main thing that people are really excited for is like Oba and Brock, because that's like people expect if to do the right thing. You know, if Oba goes over like we all want and expect, hopefully, fingers crossed, don't want to jinx it. You know, look, Phil don't expect.
I'm very, very concerned. Very concerned.
Listen, we're taking him down, bro. He's done. He's done.
Yeah.
I think we're going over emphatically.
I hope so. I am not confident in that. But yeah, bro, I sat here and I was like, Seth, man, listen. If you don't have this match, you can stay at home, dog. It's all right. I know you do not have to rush back. He rushed back. He came out there and did like some what do you call it?
The masked man shit. The hooded man.
He came back with his masked man group. They were doing like the Harlem Shake meme stuff.
Came back with his whole school, bro.
Yeah, and then I thought maybe like, all right, maybe they know that Braun is ready. And no, apparently Braun will not be back in time. They were like, hey, Seth rushed back to be a part of WrestleMania. We got to give this guy something big. Hey, what's Gunther doing? What do you mean what's Gunther doing? He just retired AJ Styles, John Cena, and Goldberg. Why don't you have a plan for this guy? This guy comes fresh off of not being on TV for 3 weeks. Yeah, let's just have him choke Seth out for no reason. What?
Yeah, they didn't even try and like plant a seed or just straight in.
It's interesting.
It's
too,
official, graphic.
Did you see like Dave had the thing about this wasn't like a late change? Like he said, this has been the plan for a minute, and it was like, really?
Then why didn't you do something 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. I don't. That's what Dave got. So maybe
I don't really buy that. I think they thought that there was a chance that Braun would come back.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
It feels like, and I want to stress, Phil and I are just going off guesswork here and doing some maths, but it certainly came off like Braun medically wasn't where they wanted last night, and they said, okay, let's just do this. Basically, how it came off. Now, that doesn't mean that's the way it was, but that's how it came off. So we'll see. But I mean, the match itself definitely makes the show stronger, right? There's no doubt. It's interesting. I mean, Monty and I talk about it a lot. It feels like this build's been going on now for about 7 years or so.
It's so long, bro.
It's. I think it's because every week there's not a lot of wrestling and there's not a lot of physicality. That was becoming the thing with the Punk Roman thing. Punk comes out, Roman comes out. They talk for a while. End segment next week. Punk comes out, Roman comes out. We talk a little bit. End segment next week. Punk comes out. The Usos come out, do some talking. End segment. No matches, nothing. Nobody's gonna wrestle.
Yeah, everyone's kind of running in place, right? That's a great point. Yes, it's been strange. I don't know what. It's going to be interesting where the heat is at when it comes to show night. That will be the thing that I'm really circling in terms of, like, I have no doubt, no matter what they do in the build, Punk and Roman are going to have a lot of heat for their match.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Cody and Randy. Now, that may be a different type of crowd because they may be, fully with Randy, which wouldn't surprise me. The undercard matches, the ones you look at and go, okay, it'll be interesting what gets a reaction, what the people are actually truly invested. Because as we all know, stadium wrestling exacerbates the heat element a lot.
Yes.
Like, if a match doesn't have heat going in, doesn't have juice going in a stadium, you feel it quick because it's just, the sound just leaves, like it's a big I was there last year, dude. When the Raiders came out, I thought a fire alarm was
come on, man.
What's up? Yeah. I was sitting in my popcorn going, where's everyone going? The world's tag team titles are on the line. Come on. But I kid. But seriously, stadiums are tough on the talent if they're not got a match over in the build. And so it's going to be interesting what the undercard matches look like on this one.
Yeah. There's some matches. There's some wrestlers that I'm surprised we got this late in the game before we knew what their matches, including Gunther. Last night I was like, hey, so we still don't know what EO's doing at WrestleMania? And then she just lost to Raquel. I was like, okay. What's the deal? Are we doing this Oscar match? What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like we're getting the Oscar match, but it has to be said, considering where they were at, in October, they could have done a much better job of escalating that rather than having it just completely stolen, then going, okay, we're going to have to put it in the microwave, right? Which is what it's feeling like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Raquel beating EO is the way to heat it up, Phil.
No. I think EO has been booked very poorly in 2026, objectively poorly. And what makes it worse is you made the point to separate her and Rhea, to put Rhea on the other show. And boy, is this Rhea and Jade feud not making Rhea look good. It is not. It's not capitalizing on her strengths at all. Yeah, it's not good.
See, that's a good example of what we were talking about with the heat, in the sense that the best version of Jade, exactly, the best version of Jade and Rhea is them trading bombs to a crowd just losing it for the idea of them wrestling each other, right? Like, it's this kind of almost like these superheroes, right? With their build, with their star power. The way this is being built, I can't imagine it's going to have that kind of atmosphere. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope when the first bell goes, Vegas loses it for the idea of them wrestling. But the way that they've built the match, I agree with Phil, has not done a great deal to highlight either's strengths. They've now inserted Mia and B-Fab, and I'm happy for both of them to have a role, and they're going to take some crazy bumps, I'm sure, at someone's hands at Mania. I think maybe Bianca. But, respectfully, not due to any fault of their own, they're not important on TV. So that doesn't help, you know what I'm saying? That's just more baggage for the thing to get over. So it's been a mess. Neither party seems to be into it, to be completely honest, and not ideal. Not ideal at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Other than that, it's great.
Yeah. Oof. It feels like they're running away from another Charlotte Tiffany situation after the Twitter back and forth. So they're like, hey, let's make this as safe as possible. But it's like, at least the Twitter thing had people talking, and I thought you could have done something out of that. And instead, it's just been downhill ever since then.
I think it's just if that Twitter beef had ended without the creative line, I think they would have brought it to TV. As soon as the creative line, I think everyone got cold feet. Maybe not everyone, most people got cold feet and kind of went no. And I also think there's a concern about, in its own way, that may have, as you said, kind of led you down the Tiffany Charlotte direction. I don't know. I mean, what I know for sure is the route they've taken has not heated the match up, right? I mean, it just hasn't worked. There's time to do stuff with physicality. The issue is, and this is where it's kind of challenging, to be honest, the way you really want to build the match, I think, you kind of want to get people desperate to see the physicality that you don't give them until the night of WrestleMania. I think is, to be honest, the best way to do it. The issue is you have 8 weeks of TV. Instead, you end up doing face-to-face promos to avoid that physicality. And it's like, Rhea Ripley can do almost everything, but she's not Dynamite on the mic. And Jade has limitations across the board. So it's like, you're kind of... it's honestly one of those matchups that people want in a video game setting, but they don't actually think about what it would look like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what they actually do opposite each other is really the part that's going to be challenging. As for the match itself, I actually think there's a chance it surprises people, because I think if they do bombs, it could get over. There's also a chance it sucks, if we're being honest, right? So it's a bit of a coin flip in that way. Like, most matches on Mania, I think, have a floor of they'll be fine. They could be really good. Jade Rhea could be really good or could be really bad, to be completely honest. So we'll see.
And then you got Stephanie versus Liv as well, which is another build that I think has made me cringe at times.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But it does have heat.
Yeah.
You know? It does have some heat to it.
Higher floor, right? To the example we just gave, right? That
yeah, definitely. And I think on the night as well, I think they'll have a pretty decent match.
I'd agree.
At least, you know? So, yeah, the builds for the women this year has been really kind of, I think it's fair to say, disappointing in most regards when you look at some of the other WrestleMania stories they've done in recent years for the women. Even the stuff that kind of almost felt like by accident, like the Bailey EO stuff, you know, and all the things like that. So, and even they've had better messes than this. Like we touched on Tiffany and Charlotte, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was a mess, you know, but he had some heat to it by the end, you know.
Yeah,
and,
it did. That match actually, at the first bell, that match actually had a genuine atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised, like, being there, I was like, wow. And then it kind of lost it quick because they just had a match, right? It wasn't like it was physical, but it wasn't. I think people in the building legitimately thought they were going to have like a brawl for all situation. They didn't. They just sort of had a wrestling match. But yeah, it's been, you know, I saw Ibu talk about it. I think the women's matches on the Mania card are actually mechanically, in terms of matchup, are actually the kind of weak spot of the show, because it just feels like they've not distributed the talent well at all in the women's division. Like, every matchup on that side of things, you feel like you could do better in an ideal world, right? Like, you feel like it's kind of, it's good, but it ain't great, or it's fine, but it ain't great, which is...
EO versus Rhea felt like an open
lot.
goal,
Yeah,
which
I agree.
they've now missed, you know, which obviously, whenever they do that, which I'm sure they'll, you know, I don't think any of them are going anywhere anytime soon, so I'm sure paths will cross again many, many more times over the years, but, you know, it's definitely a missed opportunity to not do it at this Mania with what they had going on, you know, with the whole Riho stuff and, you know,
right, and
kind of like, it was like an interesting
respectfully-
dynamic, but you could have gone a couple of different avenues with,
Oh,
you know.
for
you could have-
sure.
So, you know, that was a missed opportunity, and it's obviously, as we've already mentioned a couple of times, like EO, you know, scratching our heads for the past few weeks. What's EO doing? Kale's been having to go to see his therapist every week about what is EO doing at Mania, and you know, she loses to Raquel. She loses to Raquel last night, which was woof, you know, but. I don't know what the but is.
At the very least, whatever you think of the build, and we've all just gave our opinion on it.
Yeah.
At the very least, EO and Asuka is the match on that side of the slate that you go, yeah, that to me is where I want it to be. Now, again, I would have preferred EO and Rhea, because I think it could have been a main event. But if she's not wrestling Rhea, give me the Asuka match for sure. Outside of that, Liv and Stephanie, I haven't got a big issue with, but I think it would be helped a lot if the other title match was a really strong one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have an issue with it, but I don't think it's strong enough to lead the pack. AJ and Becky just feels like something that they've done a lot of variations of, even though they actually haven't done that many matches. They've been feuding for a long time. 7 months, I think, right? Which is, interesting. On and off, obviously, but yeah. And then the women's tag, I just don't think is, to me, I don't think it's a particularly positive reflection of all the work done on the women's tag division, to be completely honest. Like, that division got really hot for a minute, and I don't think that match is going to indicate that at all when we get to Mania. But we'll see.
Where are the big angles, bro? You know,
angles?
There hasn't been that many on the men's side either. Like, you look at like what we've had, and we've had, you know, Randy Orton turned heel, you know, and I'd say like the first Oba one, you know, with the pop-up powerbomb, the fourth on Grace. But in terms of like big angles that people will remember a few years from now, it's like, what have we? And on the women's side, especially, there's been nothing, bro. Like, there's been absolutely nothing.
That they really struggle to pace this stuff, and so when it comes to big angles, they get gun shy about like going too early. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh shit, we're still in March, or we're you know, when they're in February, or we don't want to do it too soon, and then next thing you know, they kind of just kill time for 7 weeks, and it's like, oh shit, we're at the match. It's a very strange thing, and let's be real. I mean, it's a challenging thing in the sense that they have a longer run-up now in the last couple of years than they have previously, because these Manias are later in April. And they have really struggled with that. It's a small thing, but it's definitely made a difference.
It's their choice, though, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying I'm sympathetic. I'm just saying...
No, you're not. I'm just saying...
I think it explains why, like, the last 2 years it's felt an extreme, example of that. To me, anyway. I don't know.
Oh, man. Yo, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just rough, isn't it? Because it's you want to invest in some of your favourite wrestlers going into Mania, bro. And it's just, this is what I mean. This is why all my stocks all of them are in Oba, bro. You know? It's like when I bring up earlier, you know, we'll transition. But like, when Phil's like, oh, I don't know, man. You know, I don't know if they're going to do the right. I'm willing to take those odds, you know. This is what being a fan's all about, Joe. Phil, everyone. This is what it's about. You live and die on these things. If Oba loses at Mania, I'm gonna be legitimately like absolutely fuming. I've bought in, and if he wins, bro, I'll celebrate it. It'll be shameless, you know. But this Oba Femi shit, it's real, bro. This Oba Femi shit, it gets real, you know. And you know, if he loses, I'll remember that time that fucking I don't know, I'll put a hole in my wall or some shit. But yeah, man, the Oba and Brock stuff so far has been very good, and just the way, I think there's like kind of it's almost Goldberg-esque how Oba is at the moment. You know, and obviously the chant as well, which is obviously like a direct comparison, but there is just kind of something to it, you know. When his music hits, it's like, oh god, you know, it's like, oh shit. I've always loved that kind of that feeling in wrestling, like when someone's music hits, I'm like, oh fuck, you know. It's like, and everyone does the chant, the fucking the strut that he's getting over, the kids are doing it in the crowd. Izzy Adesanya, granted, not his greatest performance at UFC on the weekend, but he's a big star doing the Oba Femi strut, you know. It's yeah, man, he's one of the best things about the company at the moment, genuinely, and obviously praying they do the right thing and have Oba go over emphatically at WrestleMania. And it's funny as well because it's like the segments have been so good. And I'm not even just saying this because of all the, like, I know, outside of the ring obvious reasons, but I do think that it's all Oba, bro, that is making these segments, you know. It's not Heyman going out there chatting shit. It's not Brock fucking doing whatever he's doing, which isn't a lot, really. Obviously, it's always a big thing to see Brock sell as much as he has for Oba, which obviously is the meat. But in terms of, like, just Oba's aura in these segments, you know, when he was taking out the security yesterday with the shoulder tackles and then he launched one of them halfway up the ramp, He sent fucking Adam Pearce to next week, you know. Triple H had to get in there, bro. Had to call in the big guns, which made me laugh seeing the reaction to it on Twitter because people are so sick.
Exactly.
But, yeah, people are so sick of Triple H now that when he shows up in a segment, which admittedly made sense for him to show up in last night, people are like, oh, look at this piece of shit forcing himself on the show again. And he was like, well, it kind of made sense, man. He took out Adam Pearce, so Triple H got out there.
It's a perfect example of, like, these things don't exist in a vacuum. Right? Like, if someone binges 2026 Raw in 10 years, they'll be like, that made sense. In real time, the reaction to that was genuinely people being like, oh, here he comes. This piece of shit. Everyone's just so mad immediately.
Oh, we got company. Lyric.
Hell yeah.
She's arrived. How you doing, Lyric? You good?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Wonderful.
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to navigate a very confusing Raw last night, you know.
Aren't you always?
Yeah. To be fair. To be fair. Yeah. What was the last one? The last Tuesday we did was the Raw where Punk didn't say sorry, I think. I remember the thumbnail. Not sorry. You know. Keep
Not
it simple.
sorry.
Good fun. Fair. Good
But
fun.
yeah, my overall point, like the thumbnail says, Oba Femi is the absolute truth, you know. And I'm going there. I do think I've come to the conclusion that I think he's the greatest prospect that company's ever spat out. I think better than Angle, better than Lesnar, better than first year Ronda, better than first year Logan Paul, whoever you want to fucking throw out.
Better than Hackenschmidt. Better than
All of them. Better than all of them. You know? I sound like Kalish,
Wow.
bruv. But nah, for real, because with Oba, yeah, I've wanted to jump on and just be like, he's the best prospect I've ever seen in WWE. But you kind of don't want to just jump straight to it because of what Brock and Angle were in their first years. And it's like, you don't want to just say it too quick. But it's like, I can't avoid it, bro. I can't deny it anymore. You know?
I think he's the best male prospect. Just wanted to clarify.
Okay, you going with Mercedes?
No, I'm going with Bianca.
Bianca first year.
I think Bianca is the greatest.
Bianca's up there. She's in that. I should have dropped her in that like name of
I think
people.
she's the greatest
that line of
product
people.
of the Performance Center ever. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
that Bianca's
Yeah.
greatest. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, she's main evented WrestleMania already and stuff like that. Like, she's already a Hall of Famer. Do you know what I mean? Like, she retired tomorrow. She's already a Hall of Famer. You know, unquestionably as well. So like Bianca would 100% be in that conversation as well in terms of prospects. But I'm thinking like as soon like, bro, straight out the box, Oba Femi, I was like, oh my god, we're going to the top. You know, it was like
My parlay.
oh man, it's Bianca 100%. Like it was similar, but not. It weren't as like, oh fuck, like straight away. You
And
know.
Bianca also, to be fair, like her ascension happened during the pandemic. You know, so much of that happened like during the pandemic. Like the Royal Rumble she won was literally no fans.
I'm not one to do Kurt Angle propaganda, but I feel like he probably wins this race. I feel.
Listen,
I mean, within like 2
I
years
love
of being
Angle.
a pro wrestler, he was the world champion.
yeah. So was Brock. So was, do you know what I mean? So was Tiffany. Tiffany Stratton was world champ as soon as she got onto the main roster as well. It's like
I'm
I
saying,
don't care.
like, Turn
I don't-
professional. Like not just like on the main roster. Like Kurt probably turns pro in what, like late '98.
Yeah, but he had the shoot background, Joe. You know, it's very
That's not
very
his
real.
fault.
You know, it all
Dutch
applies.
boys.
You know, yeah, it does. He already knew how to throw a suplex. You know, it's like he already had suplex.
look, I'm not
hip toss class.
I'm not the Kurt Angle guy, but I don't know, man. That's pretty. I think he's hard to beat in that regard.
Listen, like I said, bro, this Oba Femi shit's real. Very real.
I hear ya.
Well, I think before we can say he's like the greatest, we have to wait until at least after WrestleMania. I think.
I think
That's a
I'm
good
just talking
idea.
as a pure. I'm talking as a prospect. I'm
That's
talking
a prospect, but like you
just
gotta
like
think
how I'm
Kurt
feeling
was
about
crazy.
halfway.
Kurt
How
was-
I'm feeling about say halfway through their first year on the main roster.
Exactly.
You know, Oba Femi. I'm telling you, he's the
I hear-
greatest prospect I've
I
ever
hear-
seen.
I hear you, brother, but we talking about like Kurt Angle. Like,
yeah, he's
fresh
cool,
off-
bro. He's
fresh
cool.
off-
God bless him. God
fresh
love
off-
him. You
fresh
know.
off Olympic gold medal. Like, we talking about like Kurt Angle.
Yeah. It's an excellent
Yeah.
point, Lyric. I agree.
Like, come on, like, let's just.
I know.
Let's be honest.
This
We're
is
not
what I've
talking-
had. This is what I've held in. This
not
this
talking
hot take
about-
would have got dropped 6 months ago, Lyric.
talking
You don't
about,
understand.
a third string like Alabama football player. Like he's fantastic, but we talk about an Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, we're talking about Oba Femi.
Black.
We're talking about the ruler, Nigerian Thanos, Lyric. That was his at on Twitter, and he could get it off. What other WWE wrestler in the history of the business could genuinely call himself Nigerian Thanos and get that shit off, bro? Nobody.
Yeah, it was a little tough sledding for you that one week when he did that podcast and that quote came out.
Well, I'll break it down. You know? You want to pull the quote?
sure?
If you want to pull the quote up and take me to court, I'll explain.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we
I
explained
will
it.
explain. Like I said, this Oba Femi shit, it's real, bro. You know, people are making assumptions.
Listen,
You know,
assumptions.
hey,
Go
I'm
on.
just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. People,
I'm not
there
gonna
was
lie.
assumptions were made.
This is gonna be. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna sound terrible, but as soon as like that quote dropped, I was like, he might actually beat Brock. I said, yeah. Let's say like we going. I said we taking this show on the road. I said,
Hey, listen, man. Hey, man. He said he listened to Rogan in college.
time to play the
Listen,
game.
A lot of people listen to Rogan in college. you
Oba
know?
is great,
I-
but I agree with Lyric's general sentiment of take it easy. Hey, take it
At
easy.
ease, my brother.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because-
Why? Why take it
I
easy?
will say though, again, after that quote drop, I said he's gonna have a great career in WWE. Like I think he's
That's a crazy.
they've taken his brother to the moon. I now remember a couple weeks ago I was just like, I just don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger. They're gonna pull it.
Nah, this Oba Femi shit's real, bro.
It
I'm
is.
telling ya.
It
Greatest
is.
prospect I've ever seen in that company.
That's right.
You know, Kurt Angle was nice, bro. He was nice, you know.
Kurt Angle was.
And he'd come
nice.
he'd come out there, and he'd cut his promos as well, and they were super impressive. You know, like Kurt was, you know, almost a full package straight out the box. You know.
I have a question. So have you like
Go on.
prepared yourself for like what's gonna happen? What are you gonna do if WrestleMania does not turn out the way that you want it to?
I'm just, I'll crash out. I'll just crash the fuck out, bro. Like, what?
We're gonna get one of those. We're gonna get one of those videos of you destroying the TV.
No, it won't be recorded. It'll be in private, in Joe's WhatsApp.
Dignified.
Dignified.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh man,
respect.
yeah. And then I'll come on the podcast and I'll be like, you know, we'll get them next time, and I'll play it that route, you know.
Maybe.
Sounds sad. Wow.
It's-
I don't know, man.
Nah, we're winning, bro. Emphatically, you know. We're winning emphatically, bro.
I think he should win in the same amount of time that Brock beat Kofi. I think that'll be good.
I would, yeah, that would love that, but I don't see a world where
never
that's
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen. That
Never-
does.
I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go 6 seconds. I'd go like. A minute 20.
You're so
I'll go about a minute 20.
That was a long run up to that.
Because I was visualizing
You
it.
could tell, yeah.
It's like, so he's got to do this, do that. That'll take 10 seconds.
It's crazy because like if they do that, they're gonna take like 15 minutes for interest.
Someone said 10 minutes, bro. Come on. We don't do that. Brock ain't got 10 minutes in him. I don't think.
I saw pictures of like what Brock looks like now. Oh, he's like, you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob when like they're racing the snails and then like Gary gets like so overwhelmed like by the end to where like he just like busts a fuse in like his eye and like just starts like blowing up like towards the end because he's been working so hard. That's like how I feel about Brock right now. Like just like
He's going to blow up, bro.
he's Gary towards the end of the race.
You can't go into deep waters with Oba Femi, you know?
He
That's
can't go
what it
one on
is,
one with
you
the
know?
ruler.
When we get into those deep rounds, if they come, I don't
Well.
think they will. But, you know.
Well, I wish I believed as much as you do, man. But I've watched WWE for quite a long time. I've watched Brock beat all of our faves. Yeah, not confident.
Listen, this is what I mean. We needed the greatest prospect this company has ever produced.
We saw Brock go into a pay-per-view where he was supposed to wrestle Roman Reigns, got put in a match that he had nothing to do with, won that match, and beat E like it was nothing.
I know.
It
Also, too,
But Big E will tell you he ain't no Oba Femi. He'll tell you that himself,
I
bro.
think it's also too just how do I say it? You see, this is a year of WrestleMania where ticket sales are down. We relying completely on part timers, and you got actual McMahons going in the Hall of Fame. I'd tread real lightly when it comes to black talent on WrestleMania this year, more than any other year actually. Even though I think there's a chance for Oba Femi. I do think there's a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a much bigger chance than I think like existed 6 months ago. And so like I really hope like it is a big night for guys like Trick and like Oba, because I think like at this point WWE, like what do you have to lose of just like in pushing some of these younger guys? Like what do you have to lose? You
Nothing.
know, everybody's gone. Like, you know, everybody's gone. Everybody's super checked out. These things is old, bro. And like they're coming across as old. It just and fans, even though I don't think like we fully reached like a tipping point, people are turning on like, you know, some of these bigger guys like left and right. Like I'm not sure if they could sustain another year like this, you know, by WrestleMania without it like causing severe damage. Well, next year is also fun because you got Saudi Mania, which is a whole nother. They have to lose by pushing Oba.
No.
Listen, we're putting Brock in the dirt. That's all I know. In the fucking dirt, bro.
I want to believe. I just, for some reason, I like keep thinking of like, I keep visualizing this this gif from Street Fighter with like Guile in that ring and like all the garbage is coming down, and that's just how I picture like Brock with his hands up and like all the garbage is flying down like rabbit boos, and he's just like
bright red. Nah, he can't hit an F5 on Oba Femi, bro. He can't. He ain't got it in him. He ain't got the minerals. But yeah, we're putting Brock in the dirt, and hopefully he kind of just fucks off then, you know? He won't, but that would be nice, you know? It would be really nice, you know? Get everything I want, you know? But yeah, the match is it's probably 1A, 1B hottest match that they've done on this build to Mania, you know?
What's the other one? What else is hot?
Roman and Bong.
Oh,
yeah.
People are really into it?
I mean, I'm not.
It's getting good reactions from the crowd.
Yeah.
I just think that the segments have been pretty poor for the past 2 weeks.
How's the women's stuff?
Not great. Not great.
It was literally we literally missed that by like 5-10 minutes before you got in. But yeah, the women's stuff has been the worst it's been under Triple H.
It was like Lyric asked us for like an update on accounting, and we all just went, and Phil went, not great. We were just sat here like, it's not good. I've looked at the books; they're not looking good.
So the matches are what? Jade and Rhea, and then I've seen people talk about Jade and Rhea. They talk about how bad it is, but they talk about it. I haven't seen like anybody talking about Steph and Liv at all.
I mean, there was the incident with the
Mud Huts.
What did she say? The flea infested rings. What did she say? You remember that? I knew you'd remember that.
I remember that. I haven't heard anything since though.
Yeah, she did some Spanish last night, and it was
Liv did Spanish.
Yeah.
Yo, it's so criminal when they do that shit, bro. Like, oh my god, she said puta. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
It was a whole Liv was like, my mother said something, don't let people treat you a certain way. And then she basically said Steph's mother is trash in Spanish. I was just like, oh, all right.
Well, that'll do it.
Real depth lyric, you know. This is where we tell stories, you know.
They said
not that other place.
Well-traveled vet versus Erica Kirk. And Liv went conservative on this.
That Mud Hut stuff did not go over well. It was It was yeah. Yeah. Flea infested rings, mud huts, like, yeah, no. Wasn't a good look.
No.
No.
Oh.
Hey man.
And so the tag title stuff is like,
Oh, the tag title stuff. It might be even worse.
So they loved the finish where someone sits at ringside, someone gets thrown into them, and then they interfere and cause a DQ. And on the first week they did it, it got a reaction, and they did it the next week, and then they basically, in a roundabout way, did it again last. They've done it 3 times. I don't get. I said this to Monty before we went live, but the angle last night wasn't even an angle. It was just like, just get in there, will you? Just everyone
Just get in there.
And then we'll do it. We'll put the graphic. It's frustrating because it's like, if you try something that doesn't work, that's one thing. But they didn't like even try anything creatively. They just sent the women out there and was like, "That's it." That's what, like literally, unless I'm mistaken, the Bellatons just walked out. They didn't even. They just
Yeah.
And then Charlotte and Lisa followed them, right? So
Charlotte came down and did like a twirl. It was like it was very awkward.
so the Bellas are going to WrestleMania.
Yes,
Bellas, Charlotte,
It's never in
Alexa,
question. Come on.
Bailey and Lyra, and Nash and Lyra. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
How 4 Horsewomen era is really over.
It's an interesting one. I think it's difficult.
Bailey hit a power bomb on Nia Jax last night.
I get that people want
that was cool.
certain acts to be WrestleMania, and I understand it. If Bailey and Lyra, who should win the belts, if they were winning those belts in just a straight-up babyface match with Charlotte and Alexa, that thing would get over easily. Easily. They had a killer match last fall, but this is where you get into that predicament, right? If we want to get this person on Mania and that person on Mania, and all it does is muddies everything and just makes it less interesting, to be honest. It's a shame, but it would be more compelling if it was just 2 of those teams.
Are the crowds still into like Charlexa?
Yes, but much less so. Much less so.
I actually really like them as a
It's
team.
a great act.
they got
It's
them.
just the issue is. Sorry, Lyric. So what was you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I've only seen like one match. Because I watched Evolution top to bottom. So like I really enjoyed like what I saw like at Revolution. Not Evolution. Sorry.
Evolution. Yeah, no, you're good. They still get a reaction because they're both just such commodities on their TV, but the act isn't as strong. And what's been frustrating to me is I think there's so much stuff you can do with them that isn't them having just matches for the sake of matches. Like I would do so many skits with them doing odd couple stuff, and Charlotte taking Alexa shopping or Alexa taking Charlotte to Disney, and they don't do any stuff like that anymore. They just have matches on SmackDown, and it's just
They don't do anything. Everything's just lazy.
Like,
it's lazy.
You know how you just said like that angle yesterday was just like, oh, we're building this match, just get
And the
out
thing
there. That's
is,
what
that
basically
is stuff-
everything feels like.
like that is stuff that WWE used to be so good at. Even at WWE's worst, they would go all in on comedy stuff like that. Like
Absolutely.
they could pull that off easily, and instead they just have matches, and the matches often are fine, but that's not the best way to showcase that act, right? Like it's very strange to me. Very strange.
Sucks. I'm a big Charlotte fan.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed her baby face run from afar. I
Yes,
really
and
have.
that's one thing I would say. Lyric is she at least still is enjoy. She seems to enjoy the process,
She
which
seems
is
to be
good. Exactly right. That's good. So there's at least that.
Yeah. She was doing the ice cream thing backstage for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah.
They try to keep stuff fun. It's just everyone does the same type of segment, right? So it's like your personality gets kind of lost in that, I think.
I think also too,
100%.
just we've gotten to the point to where, and we see it with like, we're seeing it with I think like that Shield for Horsewoman generation. We have to remind ourselves like these people are millennials in the sense of like a lot of stuff is going to come across as cringe sometimes, like when they're trying to be funny and silly, like Mox does stuff like this all the time.
Oh, 100%.
Like all of them do.
Yes, and
I don't even like really fault it. It's just millennial humor, and
I think the Charlotte stuff works best when it's like the joke is she's kind of oblivious. You know, like she doesn't really realize how she comes, and they do some of that stuff and it works, but it's always very. Like, for example, one cute deal they did was she like gave Alexa a gift and it was a signed photo of herself. And it's like, that's fun, right? That's a cute thing. It's a fun thing. Unfortunately, it's very fleeting in between just matches and SmackDown things.
Need you in the writers' room, Joe.
I just need someone with ideas. I'm not. My ideas
go.
were literally like base level.
One person
my
with no
ideas
idea.
there were genuinely base level. I've seen WWE TV before. Like, that even at WWE's worst, they were good at stuff like that. Like, go on location and shoot something. Doesn't exist anymore, unless I'm forgetting obvious examples.
Not really. A little bit. I think even NXT, they do it less and less in NXT. Even though I don't watch anymore, but it's like you'd see those things hit the timeline. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll never forget.
Yes.
The streets will never forget the D'Angelo family and the Legado del Fantasma boss meeting on the yacht. You know, we don't get that shit anymore. But yeah, man, the card is so Lyric last night. They just kind of threw like 5. How many matches did they announce yesterday? Like 3 or 4.
I'm not sure.
The ladder match, the tag titles match, Gunther versus Rollins.
That's it, right? I think so.
And
I think it was those
three. Then like fifth.
Yeah.
Are people into that?
They just started.
Well, they're just like Lyric. It's literally like we're
Just
the
threw it
same.
together.
We know as much about it as you do. Like
Oh,
they
you
just
mean
did it. Like they just did it.
So no. Here, I need to clarify. So they had Gunther retire AJ Styles and John Cena, and they put together his Mania feud 3 weeks before the show.
So
Yes.
So Gunther has not been on TV for 3 weeks. That's just first of all. Hasn't been seen anywhere for 3 weeks. Rollins has been coming back saying that he wants vengeance on the Vision. And you would think that that means, all right, Braun Breaker's either close or they've got another match from this faction. Nope. The Vision just won the tag titles and Gunther is his opponent.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
So
there was no
Seth Rollins
hints.
rushed
Nothing.
back for it?
Yeah.
That's what okay. Sure.
No, like I said a couple of weeks ago, bro. Ever since Phil said it, like 6 weeks ago, you know,
So
it's been ringing in my head. You know, if
do they
Braun's
have-
not fit, bro, just stay at home, Seth. Just
Do they
stay
have
at home.
Yet?
For who?
EO yet? Does EO have something yet?
Seemingly Asuka, but it's not official yet.
It's not announced yet. There's 12 matches, I think, officially so far.
This
So
is your
what-
card, Lyric. I've got
Okay.
it right in front of me, so fuck it. Right, you got Punk and Roman for the world title.
Sure.
Rhodes versus Randy for the world title.
Sure.
Stephanie versus Liv for the world title. Jade, Rhea for the world title. AJ versus Becky for the IC title. Sammy versus Trick for the US title. Oba versus Brock.
Okay.
Fatu versus Drew is an unsanctioned match.
The people is that going to be good?
We'll see. I think so. I think so. I think Drew's got one left in him. You know, I think Drew's got one in him. We've got Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. That's official now as well, Lyric. And then the 3 matches that got made official yesterday. So the IC ladder match, which is going to be so far, it's Penta versus Javon versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev. So
That might be the best match on the show.
Then we've got the women's tag titles: Nia and Lash, Bailey and Lyra, Bella Twins, Charlexa, and then Seth versus Gunther.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide what's more shocking to me. That Melo had this good U.S. championship run and he's not on this card, or that Rusev made the card at all. Like, I don't know how either of
He
those
just
things
randomly
happened.
made the card, bro. It's crazy.
That is outstanding. Just
So
slotting
Melo
into the
has
ladder
nothing.
match.
No,
Melo
he,
Doesn't seem
he,
like
he
it.
lost the title last week to Sami Zayn. 3 weeks out from Mania. I don't know why. He was a good U.S. champion. He had some good matches going.
So they would rather Trick versus Sammy than Trick versus Mello.
That's
that
what
was-
it seems like.
Clearly.
I'm assuming that Sammy is probably going to turn, or something's going to happen here. Which I don't know why you would do that, but they've put Sammy in such an odd spot now with the booking this year, with doing this with Mello, where a lot of people are not going to cheer for Sammy. And, you know, Trick is a lot more popular coming into this match, but
It's wild
bizarre.
as well, you know, because like Trick and Sammy didn't need a title,
no.
you know, and I think even if they want to do something ambitious like a double turn at Mania and turn Sammy heel and have Trick come out of it a babyface. Everyone loves him anyway, say, for example, because that would be quite ambitious. Like, you can do that without the belt. This match doesn't need the belt at all, I don't think. Like, their interactions between each other, they've been entertaining. Tricks came across great. Sammy, even though he's not somebody that you expect to win the world title tomorrow, he's somebody that has a very, he's a highly valued commodity on their TV, as Joe would say.
That's the only match that I'm honestly watching out for.
So yeah, it still would have been big for Trick to beat Sami Zayn at Mania if that's the way they want to go, or even have like Sami do a big heel turn at the expense of Trick Williams, and obviously the kind of the collateral from this is Melo doesn't get to go into Mania defending the US title, which I think, at least in our like kind of circle of fans and people we interact with, I'd say about 95% of those people would say that he absolutely earned and deserved to go into Mania in that position, and now we don't know where Melo ends up on the card, if he ends up on the card at all. It does seem like there's potentially a space left in that IC title match, but again, even if he does get on the card, and even if he wins the IC title bout, it's like there is something to that. Like with this run he put together, he deserved to go in as champion and have his own like singles match, whether that be with Ilya, whether that be with Trick, whether that be with Sammy, whether that be with whoever it would have been, But alas, he's currently not on the card, and we'll have to wait and see.
Wait, Ilya Dragunov isn't on the card either?
Not at the moment.
There's always the Andre,
which will probably be on SmackDown. That was
spiteful, wasn't it? That was.
I would like to return the favour to Lyric, because Lyric and I just did a mini Q&A segment about Charlotte. So Monty, can I have the floor for a moment to return the favour? Lyric, did you see the Pandas match on Sunday morning? Oh my goodness! Tokyo Joshi Pro, we are alive. Tell me about it.
I saw clips from it. But, like, I think that this is, like, the peak of our sport.
I agree. Like, I was doing a grin along, got very excited, Lyric.
Yes, I think, like, this is the peak of our sports. And I think, like, seeing Mercedes co-sign it and say, like, I, too, want to wrestle a giant panda. Let's get this into the mainstream.
Wait. What? Can you paint the picture, please?
It's a panda. I mean,
paint the picture for me.
It's a gimmick panda. It's a gimmick panda.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a worker gets in a great big panda suit, right, Lyric? Okay. And then they have a match.
Exactly.
That's about the front and back of it.
Like, you imagine?
So there was a match on the TJP. What? It was just a singles match.
Mizuki versus the panda. Yeah.
Correct. Like, but seriously, like, if Mercedes actually wrestles a panda, I think she might.
She'll make it work, bro.
Blow the fourth wall open of professional wrestling. Like this it will change the world.
Yeah.
And also too, honestly, if I'm TJPW and I see the numbers that I'm already doing in the US right now, you book Mercedes Moné versus the giant panda in Texas?
It seems it feels like one of those things. It feels like one of those things like Mercedes versus the giant panda that would be, those random videos on YouTube that get like 100 million views. And it's like,
I should be real, dude. I did a grin along for the whole show.
That's why, when AEW first started, like Orange Cassidy, crazy views on YouTube. Like of just what's that real campy shit that nobody's doing that you can do that you're never going to find anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, I did a watch along for the whole show, and I was clued in about a big panda being on the show. But it's one thing to know about, and then to see the big panda. I mean, Monty, I got to stress you, this is a big panda,
huge.
You didn't send me any clips or anything, bro.
I thought we would have made your timeline. This was my match of the weekend.
I've had a long few days, Joe.
I mean, listen, let me be clear. The Suri tag was incredible, but the panda was just outstanding. I mean, it's such a big fucking panda, And
Mizuki's so small.
Yes, and the panda's so big, and you combine those things, Lyric, and you have a classic. And then at one point, I don't want to spoil it, but at one point the panda gets deflated, and then has to power up right and inflate.
I think women do everything better because they saw DDT have Yoshihiko for so many years and said, "Hold my beer."
Yes,
I got something even crazier, even cooler. Yeah, I think that I'm such a fan. I just DM'd it to you. I found the clip. I DM'd it to you, Monty. So you can go look at it.
It's a really big panda. I can't stress this enough.
Huge panda, and like the size difference makes it even nuttier. Like it's nuts. I never. Oh my god!
Oh shit! It's fucking huge.
It's so big. Yes. Dude, I was not expecting to find it funny, and I was legitimately like in tears laughing at this fucking panda walking around. And at one point, the panda threw a headbutt.
Like, and Mizuki literally like climbing to like get leverage to be able to like knock the panda on the top of its head, and just like this is what we do.
And like,
I'll never leave this great sport.
It genuinely was followed directly by the Spile Crush tag. Like directly up next was that. Oh, it was outstanding. Great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey man, I just love variety. You know.
But I'm gonna get my charger real quick. But y'all keep talking.
Yeah, do what you gotta do. Shout out Tej, man.
Yeah.
You know.
I had to do that. I'm sorry, Montel.
No, I appreciate that you did it because I've learned something new. And I've got something new to seek out, you know. I've got homework this week. Look, Joe's going to send me some NXT homework.
Old NXT, not new. I'm not that mean.
Okay, I was about to say, well,
take it easy.
Oh, man. Yeah, NXT, man. That show I used to watch.
Yeah, you had a terrible split with NXT. Terrible split.
It's just bad, man.
I know, but it was a really bad split you had with NXT. Heated, I would say.
Yeah, you know, it's I couldn't think of an example to use that was I don't know, PG enough for a pro wrestling podcast. So, but yeah, man, NXT. But you wanna is. The world needs my NXT scouting reports, Joe.
I've been saying that for years.
I've been on them. I've hit it big on 3 of them. You know, it's like Oba Femi day one stock that was. Tiffany Stratton. You know, I was putting her over when people were giving me weird looks.
Have you sold on that one yet or not?
What?
You still holding tight on those stocks, the Tiffany ones?
Tiffany Stratton. Yeah.
You cashed them in.
I sold some, but you know,
Yeah,
I've still got. Yeah,
I think that was the right play.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like but my point is,
still,
I was buying stocks Tiffany Stratton when she was still using Daddy's credit card and segments on NXT. You know, people didn't see the vision at this point. I was getting weird looks. Trick Williams, you know, I received abuse.
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
I like Tiffany. I think I like Tiffany at NXT. I think she's just completely lost me on the main roster. And it's weird that happened. I thought that she was a really good prospect. I'm not saying that she's terrible.
Yeah, they just don't wrestle enough. Genuinely, I think.
Yeah.
Look at Pedro. Look at these pieces. Are you going to follow Tiff to Hollywood? Tiffany Stratton is not making.
Who is JC Jane wrestling at the Stand and Deliver?
No one here watches NXT anymore, Joe. Like, a few months ago, I could have told you this.
I thought Blake would have been called up by now. I didn't expect her to stay in NXT this long.
I mean, she's only just started,
and she's still in
working with interesting people in NXT.
Thank you,
know. So,
but is she still like in the North American title picture?
Yes, she's shooting with Tatum Paxley. Yeah.
So she hasn't even like gotten to the NXT championship.
Well, that's locked up. JC Jane, she can't go on.
Yeah, JC Jane. No, come
not
on.
In the post.
That's a prestigious belt.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I mean, she was AEW World Champion last year.
JC Jane won in AEW.
You see?
My fault. I didn't know JC Jane had shooters like that.
I don't know. I think you got to move on with Kendall at some point. Kendall feels like the hotter prospect coming up to NXT right now than Blake. Honestly, I feel like Blake doesn't need NXT, and I think that NXT has kind of killed some of her mystique.
Oh yeah, but the thing is as well, like they can heat it back up again. Like,
absolutely,
it's not beyond repair sort of thing, but it has just kind of been a bit, and as Lyric pointed out, you know, we're talking about an AEW former AEW Women's Champion, you know, one of AEW's, like she was one of their top women. Yeah, it's been a weird one. Like the stuff with Jade, I actually did like. And yeah, obviously I've got I like Tatum quite a lot as well, but yeah, it's a weird one. The way that I think the way they've handled and the call ups and stuff recently has just been bizarre, man. It's like another thing that I think I kind of pat myself on the back for being right about is I do it a lot because you've got to, bro. You got to take your wins. You got to remind people, bro. You know, and when wait until Oba beats Brock, bro. Fuck.
that whole
Emergency stream. Emergency
I
stream.
I have no plans of really watching WrestleMania, especially not in full. But I will be watching.
I'll message you when Oba's coming up.
No, I know. I will be watching the timeline so closely. Specifically,
I'll send you a link when
I'll be looking at your account for Oba versus Brock, just because I want you to know you are my entertainment that day. I'm tuning in.
I might not sell though. Like I'll black out my profile, you know. And
that's a good bit actually. Doing like new profile pic tweet and it's just blacked out.
There's several people that I feel like I'm going to be locked into there. I don't care about what actually happens at WrestleMania, but I care about what y'all say about it. I'm just locked in.
I see it. I see certain podcasters saying that Oba doesn't look like he's ready. I saw people saying, "Did you see him in a Rumble? He looked a little lost." I see the motion. People are trying to prepare themselves for this guy to lose, so they can say, "Look, he's not ready." I already see it happening, man.
Know what? They also do that when they preparing for a guy to win too. Like that's literally, if anybody remembers those last few months, it was between Full Gear and Dynasty when people was trying to get these last minute swerve critiques in, like just like I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if like we pushing like you thought we did all that shit for fun. You thought we had a classic in the Kia Forum for fun. You thought we was doing all this for jokes and giggles. You thought he wasn't going to the world title. The lies that people were telling themselves, around that time. So hey. I think it's a double-edged sword. If some people they're preparing themselves for him to lose, there's a lot of people who are trying to prepare their coping for him to win. Because if they actually do have him beat Brock, that is the new ace apparent, guys. If they pull that trigger, it's over.
It's gonna be a lot of nasty work on the timeline from people that are like, wait, I thought that they didn't give black wrestlers this spot in WWE and they don't put black wrestlers on PLEs. It's gonna be a lot of those I told you so tweets that are tone deaf, but they will happen.
They're gonna be tone deaf, but it's also too just like, again, you can't tell me that does not happen if AEW doesn't invest in Swerve years ago. And I think I just don't think a lot of the things are happening. Not saying the talent was never there, but pulling the trigger on black talent, and you see the pipeline that's coming around. I think they had to see it work for somebody else first to say okay, let's give this a try. Which sucks. It shouldn't take all that. Montez Ford should have been pushing the moon. Also, what's he doing for WrestleMania?
Nothing. Lyric. He has been off TV, buddy.
So what's going on with the Street Profits?
Have not been on TV in months.
Are their contracts up?
Remember when that report came out when it was like they're coming off TV to get refreshed?
Yeah. Didn't they just do?
I said this on this show weeks ago. I said if a report comes out saying that WWE is either pleased with your behavior or pleased with your performance lately, or if they say that they plan to refresh your character or something, just go ahead and sit down, brother. It's over. Nothing's about to happen for a long time. Okay, they are going to suddenly kind of care about you when you have 3 months left on your deal, get you to re-sign a little bit, and then proceed to put you back in catering. That's the rinse, repeat. That's how they got Drew. Hello. And then, I don't know. And then we're at this point now of just I feel like if they had left a year ago, I think they would have a very clear spot in AEW. But I think there's now so much depth in the tag division. I'm not saying that they couldn't add anything, but it's just
they would have to get back to the best as well. That's the thing as well with the Street Profits recently, where it's they haven't been able to have a proper run. So I think even let's say for example they show up on Dynamite tomorrow, and they have a match with Private Party. Yeah, I don't think they'd perform the way that we'd hope they would, because.
And I also think too, and I've been thinking about this for weeks, specifically because of Ciampa. I think that like name, image, and likeness matters a lot more in wrestling than people think it does. Like I think there is a clear correlation between the success of stars who are able to like immediately transfer their name and identity over to a different promotion versus people who have to reestablish themselves as a completely different name. I think that's why Ciampa was able to establish himself. We know him, his name is exactly the same. You know, like Mercedes went through it. Mercedes is still kind of going through it. Well, with some people, but it takes forever to kind of like reacquaint yourself with wrestling fans as someone different, as something new. And I think like it genuinely influences people's success. I think that's also why New Japan guys do well better in AEW versus, because
it's a real thing for sure.
They themselves. And I think like that's something that I'm saying all that to say the Street Profits would definitely struggle with that, like that's why guys like the Rascals I think have done so well. Just like they're finally on TV, they've been themselves. Desmond yes, he's not Wes Lee anymore, but he's always been a Rascal, so like he kind of like had that kind of protection there. But that'll be interesting too, just like, and because a lot of the people who are going to jump ship from here on out, they're never going to be able to keep their names. AJ Styles would have been probably the only one. So yeah, it's just fascinating. I think that's really fascinating to keep an eye on.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it. Like Ciampa is a perfect example of it as well, to be honest, because it's not like he was the biggest star in the world, but like he does have like the name value from NXT and stuff like that, and and he's been able to just transition super seamlessly to AEW.
Bro,
and,
that pop at Revolution, bro. Yeah. I was like, bro.
I was going to say in the inverse for WWE, I think Jade Cargill is a good example as well of like, that's why I think she probably fought so hard to protect her name of just like, as far as the star, the image, the illusion, you can say whatever you want about her in the ring, but like, she was able to just basically, they even made her entrance music almost the exact same song that she had in AEW. Like, just her logo, everything. They just essentially copied and pasted it, being able to carry that over. It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Penta too. Somebody said Penta, yeah.
Yeah,
Penta's another one, 100%.
I just keep saying the last thing they unlocked with Penta and WWE is they let this guy talk. Every time he comes out there and gets those big reactions when he's cutting the promos, I was like, why wasn't AEW letting this guy talk? I just don't get it.
It was so awesome when his first match, that promo cut after. It was so like... It was so pro wrestling, right? Like, he was just feeding off the energy. It was awesome. Awesome stuff.
Yeah. The Mania card is coming together. John Cena's hosting.
I'm sure.
Bringing him
gotta
back
sell some
already,
tickets, big bro.
We gotta sell them tickets.
Yeah. I don't think it will even sell that many more tickets. It's just like,
Honestly, if WrestleMania was not in Vegas this year, I would have gone. Not to the show, but I would have gone for the week. But it's just like, bro, Vegas is expensive.
Very.
Like, especially like, and WrestleMania it's a destination event. Yes, you're going to get some people from the local crowd, but for a lot of people, because WWE appeals to a lot of casual fans, WrestleMania is a bucket list type thing, right? Like, of just, I just need to go to one before I die, right? So people in Vegas went last year. That's like, nigga, we good. Like, this is cool. Like, we saw The Rock, like, whatever, sure. And then also this card, what are you giving people? They're not coming back. So you have to depend on people to travel. And also too, just the indies crazy. It's not, I don't think the indies move people as much to get out the house. I think there's a lot of good people. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good things booked for WrestleMania week, but as far as like in this economy, people booking a trip, because the thing is, out of all, I think wrestling weekends, wrestling weeks all year, this is the most expensive. You got to find housing in Vegas. You got to fly to Vegas. You have to buy tickets for all of these different events or a collective pass. And then on top of that, if you actually like WWE, you got to buy WrestleMania tickets too. Oh my God. And they are charging an arm and a leg. I don't think that there's no PWG, Supercard of Honor isn't running. Like, it's not these tent pole things that typically force people to like, all right, like this is my thing in here. Like I think it would have been different if it was New Orleans. Like I would have gone. Like if it was New Orleans, I would have 1000% have been there. Because I had fun in Vegas last year, but nobody can pay for that 2 years in a row.
Right. We knew we knew all this as well.
Yeah,
so
it was obvious. Yeah.
It's funny, like it's like I listened to like I don't know, like Dave and Brian earlier talking about like the tickets aren't doing so well. It's like because the price fans out, and yeah, of course the ticket prices are ridiculous, bro. But like the running an expensive city 2 years in a row, like of course, like it weren't even gonna be like what are we talking about, man? Like even if the build was fucking great.
And they're charging for everything. Like honestly, like those tickets ever since WWE really like went super privatized and did WWE World and they're doing like their own conventions and stuff. Like if you see those prices, like those prices for meet and greets,
absurd.
I skipped I was still in Vegas last year for WrestleMania night 1. And on the same day while other people at WrestleMania, I went to that DDT versus TJPW versus GCW show. I met Konosuke Takeshita for $35 a week. Like 2 months before the G1
memories.
What are we doing? $35.
Nah, for real though, it's like like all in Texas, like talking to friends in the media, whether it would be you two or anybody else, like just talking about the weekend that people were having, and it would be stories like that, like we got to do this and it was only $20, and it was just like WWE World is like I don't even know. Like,
karaoke with Bryan Danielson, Will Osprey. You can do Vanilla Baby with Blake Christian for $20 to get in. $20 to get in. It was crazy. Even like last minute, even the most expensive meet and greets were like $100. Like those were the most expensive, I think. Like because me and Danny ended up splitting the Hangman one. That was the only one. Like I did, and like that was what we paid. What, 50 each?
That's you gotta think like, people are paying like $10,000 to have like dinner with Cody Rhodes or whatever the fuck it is.
Bus ride.
Like, bro, this is what we paying for. Like, this is the person who's main eventing the show tomorrow. Like the actual headliner, $100.
And there is something to like, of course, if WWE can get it, then like these are big stars and they are worth a certain amount. But there's got to be an in between, hasn't there? It's like $10,000 or $3,000 for a meet and greet. So this is the greed Bible talked about, bro. Like what are we doing? Like it's just
this is a $10,000 yeet. If you want to yeet, you can't eat if you want to yeet. You can't eat if you want to eat.
It's almost like the prey on like like all the moms and dads that like have it on their bucket list to like, I want to take my kids to a WrestleMania. It's like, oh, do ya? It's nasty.
I think that's why I'm so frustrated. Of just like obviously I don't watch WWE anymore, and I think like the bane of just about so many terrible things that have happened to my beloved sport. However, I do acknowledge the place and the purpose of WWE. Like this is the gateway for so many people into professional wrestling. This is the most readily available professional wrestling-esque product that's available, and it's been like that for decades. And I think that it's really important to keep that affordable, of just like, my gateway into wrestling. I would never have discovered a New Japan or a Stardom or AEW if it wasn't for, first discovering wrestling through WWE, being able to pick up a $25 ticket when they're in my city, to just go to.
They don't even do the house shows and shit anymore.
No, exactly. Like we're phasing out things that were such a integral part.
It's anti-fan lyric.
Huh?
It's anti-fan.
It is.
This is the direction it's all going in now. It's all about the celebrities in the front rows and the boxes and you know what I'm saying, like.
And it's anti-family.
The crypto traders in the front rows. It's just that's all it is now, man.
it's really unfortunate. Like I think like it's really sad because like I think about but I'm also grateful, like, obviously like there is other things on television now, like, and so maybe some people are going to discover wrestling, through other things, which I think is really cool. Like TJPW being able to pull these type of crowds in Texas, and some people don't even know about wrestling at all, and they're going to these shows just for fun. I think that's awesome. But it's just there's a key part of the experience that I think that we're slowly losing, as far as like creating these younger fans and making these memories. And it really makes me sad. Like I think like wrestling is, I don't want to say a poor man's sport, but it is. It's one of the only things that you can really interact with. Yeah, like it's one of the only things you can really interact with, like almost like the circus, right? Like if every year Raw, SmackDown is going to come in your city, and these are affordable, and you can go with your family, or it sucks. It sucks. I hate seeing this happen. And yeah, again, Vince McMahon is like 1000% like going to hell, right? But one thing that he always prioritized was keeping this shit affordable. Like, like he was very adamant about keeping ticket prices. There used to be a time where, if you saved correctly, you could take your family to WrestleMania every year, like Disney World, like if you budgeted it correctly, like that could be your thing every year. Like I knew so many people who have like I grew up, my dad used to take me to WrestleMania, every year. So many wrestlers, right, that we grew up watching, like they have those stories of people can't afford it anymore.
TKO Zufa came in, and they don't give a fuck about your family, bro. They don't give a fuck about daddy taking you to WrestleMania. They don't give a fuck. You wanna? It's crazy as well because it's like it's been like exaggerated. Well, not even exaggerated, but it's came more to the forefront with this WrestleMania build. Like you'd say the lack of fan confidence in creative and the people leading the company over the past few months, and anybody that's kind of keeps an eye on, even just a casual eye on the MMA world, like the same sort of things happening with UFC. Like the UFC hardcores and the UFC fans are probably the least happy with the actual product than they've ever been, like ever. It's crap, bro. And even though there's somebody like myself who's became mainly now more of a casual fan and more of a fleeting fan, in and out sort of thing. But even when I think of how that's happened with my fandom of MMA and UFC, it's like because UFC just put shit shows on all the time, so it's like it's one of them where they're making more. Both companies are making more money than ever, but the fans seem to be more and more displeased with the products. And I do wonder if there is a bubble that bursts, or or if this is just what life is now. Which unfortunately, I seem to think that it might be the latter.
I think also too of just so many of as things have progressed, the funding models have changed, and so I think that like. That's why I think they have different funding models. Where I'm talking about like places like WWE versus AEW. AEW's funding model is still like heavily dependent on like pay-per-view performance, in the sense of pay-per-views, pay-per-view attendance, pay-per-view buys. Like that's still large part of it. I think that especially with these major rights deals, I do think like WWE, like TKO probably have like transitioned to where like so much of, I'm not going to say they don't need fans, because obviously you need fans, but it's just like a lot of this money that they're bringing in, it's on the front end. Like like you got billions from Netflix.
AEW is similar to that though, like in the sense of like,
it's not quite the same.
A majority of AEW's income revenue will be the TV deals. And so I wouldn't say they don't need to do pay-per-views, but it's like if they just stopped doing pay-per-views and just put, I don't know, they just put them on a fan website or so that AEW.com or something, and they just wanted to do max exposure. So they could, the company now with the TV deals that it's got, especially, like they could survive not selling a single pay-per-view.
They could survive.
100%.
Could they thrive? No,
probably I think that latest TV deal, what we think it's with, I think the around 180 million a year.
It is huge, like, but when you think about like the type of money that they're spending, like live events is still a huge part of what they do, especially pay-per-view. To the point to where, and I think they're still a young enough company to where, like, yes, it's important. Like, I'm just saying, like, WWE has reached a point to where they kind of feel like they don't really That's why they're cutting the house shows and the holiday tours.
Right.
And stuff like
Sorry,
that. You know,
Luke. I need to address this,
Oh.
brother. Pretty bullshit. That's why they've never had the demand that current WWE has. Vince would have skyrocketed the prices too, bro. This is like provable bollocks that you're saying right now. Like, what are you talking about?
No, TKO's business model is just totally different than what Vince was doing.
Different. Yeah,
it's just totally different. And I mean, I think a lot of what is being said about like Saudi Mania, and that's why I'm very curious as to what this is going to look like in 2027. Because I thought. When you're really not promoting it as such, but it is, this is the last WrestleMania in the States for another year. You're not going to be in the States next year. So I would think that you were going to sell a lot more tickets on people coming this year because they're not going to go next year, but they haven't. And that's fascinating to me. And, you know, to Lyric's point, they don't really care about fans making a trip to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, they don't give a fuck.
They've already made their money on the front end of that, so it doesn't matter. It's just like, and that's why I'm like, I don't know, like, what do these things look like next year? Especially, like, it's going to get really spooky, like, with, like, the success of this thing in Saudi Arabia. Because
and also, too, go ahead, finish that.
Because I think if this looks good, and I mean, obviously they're going to put a lot of money into this. Production value is going to look good, but if it happens, if this comes out as a success, like visually and as a good show for them, I don't know what that means, guys. Like, I mean, they're not going to stop doing business with Saudi Arabia regardless. But like, bro, if this thing is a slam dunk,
I don't know.
I will say the people in the comments, the people in the comments who are talking about like the world situations, I do think that is going to be a factor of just like, you know, who knows?
Because there was supposed to be a what did they even call the Saudi shows now? What did they call the Saudi shows, Phil?
What, Crown Jewel?
WWE Crown Jewel, and there's another one in there. Clash of Champions. No. Is it Clash of Champions? Was it? Anyway, they were supposed to be doing a Saudi show this year, but they're not doing because of obviously the world situation and the war in the Middle East and stuff going on. So it's like, you know, next year that'll come around quicker than you think. And these world situations, they don't finish overnight. Do you know what I mean?
And also too, just like the promo is going to start like even before that. So you're going to have to start
exactly, bro. Normally the promo would be starting at WrestleMania, so it's a techie situation right now. So
it's interesting. I think next year is going to be really up for grabs, and if Saudi Mania does actually happen, in the sense of, and here's the thing, I'm not going to like pretend like there's a moment in the next 2 to 3 years where like AEW is going to like surpass WWE or something like that. No, it's going to take like years for that to happen. However, I do think that next year, because of like how much like the independent wrestling scene depends on WrestleMania every single year, think about how many organizations, indie promotions, vendors, they all make their money during like that is their time of the year. Like, you know, if AEW is able to run a stadium show that can be that tentpole show that can bring people out in mass quantities, that performs at least on the level of All in Texas or more, I think like a real significant shift will occur in the industry. I think not to the level of like it's going to be like an overnight, like, oh my gosh, like they're going to become the number one promotion in the world. But I think like obviously we're seeing like slight shifts now, but I think like a seismic shift occurs next year if that actually.
It'd be nice if AEW continues to go down the route of like we're the promotion for the fans and continue to build around that and develop something like you just said, like a big, you know, almost like flagship weekend sort of thing, you know. And obviously they did catch some of that magic with All In last year, do you know what I mean? And they could definitely do it. They did it with the original All In, and you know what I mean. And there was the Starcast and all that sort of stuff, you know. So yeah, like there is opportunity there with WWE being the corporate evil money fucking obsessed pieces of shit they are under Zufa. you know, it's mad, isn't it? Because it's like under Vince WWE, it's like Vince was like a fucking satanic pervert, and then now we've got fucking these corporate greedy. It's like it's all evil. It's just different evils, bro.
It's a different brand of evil. Exactly. I think the thing about Vince is just that I felt like, and from the business standpoint, not the creative standpoint, but I think from the business standpoint, I think he understood the actual wrestling fan.
100%. He grew up on wrestling, didn't he?
What did their pockets look like? Like what he knew
100%
who his audience was, and how to make things accessible. Like people, and I feel so bad of just like people don't understand like what it used to be like, how accessible WWE was. And I think it was like when I was in college, they would have like, oh yeah, like they had street teams whenever, weeks before, like I was able to get like free tickets, like for putting signs up around campus at that time, because SmackDown was about to come to town. But like I was a freshman in college, but it was literally like the circus. Like, okay, WWE's coming to town. We got tickets as low as $25. We got family packs. We got this, that, and the third. It's just that whole experience just gone.
It's a different world. It's a different WWE. But I want to do a couple of these super chats and members messages, and I want to talk a little bit about AEW and Maxwell and his his big world title. Okay, Nashut 499, appreciate it. Was the Stephanie segment supposed to be an Arn Anderson tribute? I mean, I doubt it.
Wait, what?
Is it? But doesn't Arn work there? Isn't Arn over there?
I think so.
Think so.
Wait, but pause. What are we talking about? Like, what do you mean Arn Anderson tribute?
Yeah, so Stephanie did a very weird opening segment with Cody yesterday where she told him, in order to beat a guy like Randy Orton, you got to roll up your sleeves and be more like your father, and you're not like your father. And that turned into Cody coming back and saying, all due respect to you, you're also not like your father. Big gasp, and I was like, isn't that a good thing? I don't know about that. Yeah, very weird segment. Ended with Cody telling Stephanie, I got 2 words for you. Thank you.
Yeah, he's a weird guy, but it's why he's the great wrestler he is. He's a weird guy, he's a weird cat.
How's Cody doing right now? Like, is people into him? What's going on?
People are still into him. Honestly, kind of a little bit more than I was expecting. Like, I thought there'd be a lot more of like the smarky fans like booing him and stuff. And and don't get me wrong, he hasn't got 100% approval rate, But and they will chant Randy. Like the people still love Randy, but they're still into Cody as well at the moment. But they're probably into Randy more if they're both in the ring at the same time, But obviously, the big thing I think to worry about is like if and when the crowd potentially start to turn on Cody a bit more. In favor of Randy.
No, wait until
it still feels like more of an internet thing than is actually happening at shows to me. Like it feels like they've been telling us for like the past 3 years, the crowd's going to turn on Cody. The crowd's going to turn on Cody, and it feels like it's more of the internet trying to will it into existence than what's actually happening at these shows.
Yeah, we spoke about this a few times, haven't we?
Like he's gotten booed some, but it's not like as drastic as people are trying to make it out to be.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what I mean. They still cheer for him, like it's still Cody at the minute, but it's just like I don't know. It's almost like. The numb with Phil, honestly, for the most part, where I do feel like when people do the whole Cody thing, like, oh, they're going to turn on Cody, he's going to have to be a heel soon. But it's like, because of the way that this has all been handled creatively, they've put Cody in such a weird position now where it's like, if Cody wins, it's like, the crowd will, I actually do think the crowd will start to get weird with him. Do you know what I mean?
So people want Randy to win.
Yeah.
I think Randy has to win, doesn't he? What's going on, Joe? I didn't even acknowledge that you wasn't. Like, Joe had a phone call, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to swoop back for 5 and then I have to go anyway. But yes, we're talking about. I'm all good. What are we talking about, mate?
We're doing super
Randy
chats.
has to win.
Oh, cool.
Well, I feel it's nostalgia, and a lot of people are a lot of people are cheering Randy at the moment. I don't think Randy has to win, but I do think it's gonna get weird if Cody wins because the way you set up the story so far.
Yeah.
But this is why I feel like they should have turned Cody instead of Randy. Personally, where Cody's character is, I think he's a bit stale, but he's still getting reactions. It's just like
so Randy's the heel and the people are cheering him.
Yes.
Oh, okay, sure.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
Nostalgia, baby.
Oh.
They missed the Legend Killer.
But you know what the thing is, when I first got into wrestling, one of my Randy, I was a huge Randy person. Like I had a Radio Orton poster on my wall, but I also had a Legacy poster on my wall. So like I was like an OG Cody fan. Like I remember when he debuted, Dashing. I sat through it all. Like it's funny now because I got into AEW and All In because of Cody. I wasn't really I didn't really know
a lot of people did.
like that.
They don't admit it in 2026. Like
They don't. It's crazy.
You know,
it's so crazy.
But
It was
so
a big
many
deal,
people do.
But
It's so crazy.
But once I was introduced to the Elite, I was like, okay, these niggas are so much cooler. Like I just so like when when Cody left, I was like, I can't go. You know, I can't go with you.
So
how about,
you weren't.
How about Ted DiBiase and DiBiase Jr. getting off on that?
Please,
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Again, my favorite Legacy member at the time was Cody. Of just I don't know
Ted
nothing
Jr.,
about that
you
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Jr. I don't know nothing about that lifestyle.
I remember having arguments with people because I was like, no, Cody winning the NWA championship at All In was one of the biggest moments of that show. That was like one of the loudest reactions that night. And people were like, no. I was like, dude, I was there. I know.
It was huge.
No.
It was big to the point because I wasn't even obviously I was aware of New Japan. I was aware of indie wrestling, but I was in college and I was busy all the time. And so I didn't have time to really watch any wrestling. Especially outside of WWE. But when All In happened, I literally was watching for Cody. Like I wanted to see him win the NWA title. You know.
And that was beautiful.
So well done the way they made that.
Take my hat off. But anyway, just keep going.
One of my favorite moments in his career.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same. Go Birds XTL. Long time member, much love as always, brother. He says, hey guys, thank you for all the wonderful content. I really hope / think they will add Melo and Ilya to the IC title match. Melo needs to make the card. I think there's an outside chance they just put Ilya Melo on the card.
I hope so.
I would
like Ilya versus Melo, not Ilya and Melo in the IC title.
Right.
I think there's an outside chance to just do a straight up singles match between them two on the show.
How many matches they got? They got 12, right?
So 6 each, six.
And then they've got
they've
got Io and Oscar, and they've got the speed match.
The speed match.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what the fuck's he talking about? The speed.
I've always really liked both. I think Ilya Dragunov is on my short list.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Whoever became, he's one of the only people that if he ever became available for AEW,
sign him immediately.
Immediately, and I would. I'm embarrassed of the people that I would give up for him. But and I also really like Melo, and I've always loved their chemistry. I think I didn't watch NXT 2.0 for very long, but I was watching all the PLEs for a while and during Melo's entire reign, and I loved all of his matches with Ilya Dragunov. I've always loved their chemistry, so I would love for them to get a WrestleMania opportunity, both of them. I don't know why they didn't do Ilya versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Well, actually, they're idiots, but I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, I think I don't think they've given Ilya enough to give him Gunther at Mania so far, which is unfortunate. What I would personally have done, I would have just heated up Ilya to the point where it's okay, he can stand across from this current version of Gunther and be taken
Once
and actually
Andre, he'll be ready.
Anyway, moving on.
Have a great day.
I ain't even acknowledging the rest.
Have a good one, folks.
All right, Joe.
Appreciate you.
Bye, Joe.
Appreciate you, brother. GMB 199, ready for that Judas to be blasted tomorrow, guys.
Man.
Amen. Jericho, he's looming. I think he's looming. I wish.
Here's the thing. I wish we were joking, but nah, I think It might be that time, y'all.
Bro, just roll a crate out there, do a crate reveal. Like just
You are beautiful on the
man.
inside.
I don't know. I think he might come back with new music and everything, bro.
yeah.
He's criminal like that, isn't he? You know what I'm saying? Like
If
he's gonna get creative.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie to you. If he is coming back, then I hope he comes back with Judas of just the Coke kind of took like Metalingus as the sing along of just. I think Jericho can get it back. I think that I think that Judas has been gone long enough to where like if
100%. Judas
will get
over
to where people are going to sing despite themselves.
No, 100%. Judas is one of those songs. It just is. You know what I mean? Even if people just are sick of Jericho, even when people were kind of sick of Jericho, so they would still sing Judas. It's just part of the show at this point, you know. Well, it was. It may soon be again, but I can't see Jericho just coming back. Just like he's gonna get quote unquote creative, bro. Like he's gonna come back with a new outfit, hat. Maybe some music. You know, he's just one of those guys, bro. Like he's been away too long to just kind of come back on a normal thing.
He can't be the learning tree. I'll tell you that. I also think
that didn't work, did it?
If he doesn't come back tomorrow, he's not coming back. I'm gonna be honest. I do feel like okay, if we
I think he's looming, man. Even if it's not next week, I think he's
like
looming.
If we're in Winnipeg and he's not there, okay. But I do think that he's looming at this point. If the Rumble is already passed, you're still under contract by Mania. It's not happening no time soon. You know, like a WWE jump. And I think like also too, if this is like genuinely going to be like his final run, or like this is like his last time in AEW, I do think that like he'll get like some type of goodbye, maybe.
No, of course he's one of the most important wrestlers in AEW history, regardless of how much we rate him in 2026. But it's a weird gun to your head lyric. How do you gun to your head lyric? How do you bring him back tomorrow? Let's say he's coming back tomorrow. How would you do it? Like who's in the ring when his music hits, or is nobody in the ring, or like what? Or is it an post-match angle? Like who's he involved? Who are we involving? Chris Jericho.
Who's on the card?
Tomorrow will be April of 2026. We'll be in the second quarter of 2026 tomorrow.
Okay.
It's
So I'm looking
who
at
you got for Jericho
of who's on there. You know what? It depends. Do you think that they have him be a face or heel?
You tell me.
I could see. This is gonna sound crazy, but I could see potentially Ricochet. I think that like Ricochet is still like he's funny enough and he's enough of a shithead to where like he's not gonna get like completely brought down by like the Jericho verse, especially having like the back of the listen, man, I'm being serious.
It's just you are. It's still funny though.
They could do Coben Christian. It would be. I personally would hate it. I would hate it.
No.
Oh, that sounds stinky.
I would hate it. It also be dependent on like what he's willing to do. Like if he's here back as the vet who's willing, like go out on his back and like and really like put some guys over. Sure. I don't think
crazy.
That's not gonna happen.
Crazy.
Like again, like he's not.
Swerve is crazy.
Swerve is not doing that match unless Jericho lays down.
He would, but would that be enough?
Going from Kenny Omega to Jericho, no, you can't do that.
Like,
hey man,
no.
I don't know. Because here's the thing, I kind of don't want. I don't want him near any of like anybody I like. Like I don't,
You like Ricochet though, don't you?
I like Ricochet, but I think Ricochet is like protected in a way. Like I don't think he'll fall victim. Like
it's
I
his
don't
punishment.
want Jericho.
It's his consequences.
I don't want Jericho near. No. I like Ricochet. I think that like Ricochet can like withstand. Is at a point where he can withstand a Jericho program. I wouldn't put like a Speedball or a Kevin Knight. Them. Like no.
You know
like,
that's who he's looking at though. You know Jericho's like, hey man, that Kevin Knight is promising, man. You should stick him with me for a bit.
I know he want to spin the block with Bandito and stuff. No, you can't come here. You know who he got? Jericho can work with Hook.
I love talking about Jericho. He's so funny.
Jericho can work with Hook.
So
I think that'll be good. I think that would be good. I think that Jericho should work with Hook.
Okay, whatever. All right.
What'd I say?
Nothing. Dylan's saying for $4.99, and we appreciate him. I think not having 3 of the men's belts and trios could allow a spot for the tag division to maybe one day open up a mid-card tag belts in AEW. No, stop the mid-card tag belt stuff. You should have learned from Kale, bro. Like, we're not doing this.
The only way that I could ever see a second set of tag titles working is if like AEW did an actual like weight class split, because like they do have some teams that can be considered like junior heavyweight teams. Like they have enough, and they also have enough teams that could be considered heavyweight tag teams. I don't think the tag division is strong enough to do anything like that right now.
No.
But that would probably be the only type scenario that I could ever imagine. But just mid-card belts for the sake of having them, no. Look at New Japan right now. Like I don't even know who the strong tag. Actually, I do, but most people don't. Most people don't even know the difference between the strong titles and the heavyweight belts. So New Japan has 3 sets of men's tag titles. It's just, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's probably the only. Even that would be a stretch.
That would be.
Yeah. It'd be a big stretch, but it's just kind of like that's more than just being like, here's some mid-card titles. If you did weight classes, but doing weight classes would be like. You have to be on it creatively and structuring your roster and planning like how people are gonna like.
And AEW gets lazy after creating the belt. Like let's just be real. Like I think that's why it was such a big deal when Hiromu and Naito like teamed up in World Tag League. It was a big deal when they won the tag belts together, because Hiromu had junior heavyweights don't get to go for the heavyweight tag titles and stuff like that. AEW would go back on their decision one pay-per-view cycle later. Like you would have Darby Allin challenging for the heavyweight tag belts literally the following pay-per-view cycle after introducing the junior belts. And it would be just, they do whatever they want. It's not worth it.
John Manor, $1.99. That brawl on Friday was the worst thing so far, bro. Some of the brawls in WWE lately have been absolute hot garbage. Like, it's just,
they're
just
Yeah, the Stephanie Liv beatdown stuff from last night was not good.
Shout out the Mad Dog MVF. I think that's what that spells out. The Mad Dog MVF. Yeah, shout out you becoming a member. Appreciate you massively, brother. Kuzu, $10. Massively appreciate you as always, bro. He says Cody and MJF are very similar in how the fan base treats them. When they're good, it's fine, but when they have ideas that don't land, people start treating them worse than Hitler. It took max 2 years. Listen, bro, loosely, it's what I've always scream and shout, like, bro, these people like MJF and Cody Rhodes are real proper top guys because they take these kinds of swings, and a lot of them do land. And with MJF, because we've seen him like grow in front of us on AEW, is like basically there. He's basically the guy in AEW, to be honest. And I do think like some of the fan base kind of struggles to accept that, like the core, like the core fan base, like the hardcore, not even just the hardcore, just like the core AEW fan base. Like, there's always the idea of like, oh no, Hangman's the real top guy, or now Swerve's gonna be the real top guy, or if Kenny Omega's fit and you put the world title on him, he's babyface and he can wrestle all the time, like he's the real top guy. And this person, bro, it's Max, and it's been Max, and when it's not Max, it's probably Mox. Like they're the 1A and 1B. If the 1A and 1B in WWE is Cody and Roman, then in AEW for me it has been for a while. It's MJF and Mox in AEW. The numbers back all this up. The way they're presented backs all this up. The way Tony books them backs all this. Everything backs this up. It's just that the ideas of certain wrestlers being the guy is more appealing to a lot of the core fan base. When in reality, he's MJF, bro. And obviously right now, he's having a very strong world title reign, so it kind of exaggerates that point and makes it stronger right now. But like you said, Kuzu, they take these swings, and even Cody, like that Stephanie line last night, it was crap, bro. But Cody's a weird cat, bro. He's a weird cat, and that's why he's had the career he's had, and he's the first ballot Hall of Famer if AEW do a Hall of Fame in that one, in WWE's one, and in the pro wrestling one, in all of them, He's a real top guy that takes big swings, and a lot of them do land and work out very well, and some of them miss, and it's crap, bro. And MJF is the same. They take big swings, bro. They take real big swings. They're the type of guys that are banging on the booker's door with mad ideas, and some of them are like, "What the fuck have you just suggested?" But
yeah,
I think it's a really integral part of what makes a real top guy that's gonna draw big and go to that next level instead of just being a main eventer that can hold the world title sometimes and stuff.
I also think too, just how do I say it? I think AEW is kind of different from WWE in the sense of yes, there is the guy, but I think that they have a main event scene where I think everybody has a certain role to get else over, of just Hangman isn't the guy, but he is the main character, and I think that Swerve occupies a different space. They're all very necessary, and I think Osprey occupies a very different space, and they're all necessary. But I think what we've learned this past year, I do think that Max is the glue that brings it all together. I think that the others need him, and it is noticeable when he's not there, especially when all three of them were baby faces. Just you do need a guy who is connected to these guys, who isn't going to be these guys' friend. And I honestly think that in a lot of ways it does Max a disservice to compare him to Cody, in the sense of we have to remind ourselves how young he was, and how young he still is. Matt, he did deserve a lot of the flack that he was getting. It was dog shit. He'll admit it. Of that first title reign. But with other promotion anywhere, and that goes for Japan, that goes for America, was giving a 27-year-old a world championship in a main event. He was charting new territory that Cody didn't get to until his late 30s. We've watched him learn on the job. We've watched him fail. We've also watched him correct his mistakes in real time. And I think that's why he's enjoying the run that he's on right now. But I don't dispute he is the guy, but he's also who they've invested in the sense of even too.
Very much so.
Don't get me wrong. Max is doing good work right now. He's doing amazing work right now, but he's also doing good work is because he's clearly presented differently than everybody else. Look at the challengers that have been put in front of him. Nobody else has been given this good of a reign. I think guys like Swerve and Hangman, they've made the best out of, what they were given. But Max won the title. Look at who they've put in front of him. Yeah, we Bandito,
to kind of mine and Kuzu's point, I think is when MJF is in those positions, he's banging on Tony's door. Like, I want Bandito, I want this, I want that, I want that. And I do think a lot of these other main eventers are kind of like, they get the world title and it's like, okay, I'm the world champ now. Just make sure I have my good matches on the pay-per-views and stuff. Like, they're not fucking banging the Booker's door down. And again, Booker's...
I do think there's something to it though, that like when he came back and he won at World's End, there was more of a main event scene built up for him to come back and succeed in.
Oh yeah,
you already had like so much built up around like what Swerve and Osprey and some of these other guys did. So you had so many ready-made challengers for him when he did come back, and I think that helped him a lot. The thing that I keep saying that Max has that a lot of those guys don't have, and WWE does this better than anybody. When they want to make somebody, it's apparent. They put their entire machine behind them.
Right.
They start doing all the press run and stuff. And I think AEW hasn't quite figured that part out yet. And I think
except for with Max.
well, hold on. I think the onus has been on some of the wrestlers to pull the weight. Like when you look at how Swerve presents himself outside of AEW, it's totally different than everybody else over there. And I think so many people there still act like indie wrestlers. They still act like they're at a small promotion. And the two of the guys that have that figured out over there is Max and Swerve, because they don't move that way. They move like a big deal outside of the company. And so because of that, they feel like they're presented as a bigger deal there. And I think that's kind of the disconnect with Hangman sometimes. Hangman still acts like he's in a small promotion working with his friends. And
yeah, the brand.
You're not.
The Hangman brand. You know?
Yeah.
Correct.
Where Swerve puts the time and the effort, and he's put a lot of thought into who he wants to be,
Exactly.
like who he's Swerve Strickland. But to I guess both of your points, and especially kind of like Lyric was saying about like the presentation thing, and
I think also
with MJ,
fair, he was also a heel. I think, and the thing is, at the time, where like the thing is, the entire Top Guy scene was all baby faces. Like it was really
things were set up nice for him. But what I was gonna say, Lyric, was MJF, like going back from when he first came in, bro, like the segment with Bret Hart and everything, like there has been an element of like he feels almost like the only guy that like the machine has like always been like when MJF was first on AEW, it's like we knew where he was going. When he was feuding with Jericho, we knew where he was going. When he was feuding with Cody, we knew where he was going. And everything was presented like that as well. Like, this is the guy that's coming up. Even if they weren't directly telling us, they were telling us without directly telling us, you know. It was the way everything was presented. Then eventually he won his world title, and it was like, here he is. And obviously, you know, some of his creative freedom was his downfall of that reign, you know. But again, that's why this reign is probably so good as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's like the one thing that I do love and appreciate about Max or even a Cody is that like he hasn't let that first reign, or Cody hasn't let, I don't know, whether it be the Cena stuff or some of the other crap, or even like the crap as recent as last night with Stephanie, deter them from taking these big swings that they still take. And who knows, like the next one that MJF takes, it'll probably land, you know, because of what he's learned over the past few years of his career of being like a top guy, like, and yeah, there's just something to it. Like, we've watched him grow, even though we all knew where he was going. Do you know what I mean? And he's had the machine behind him. And I think, yeah, AEW has kind of struggled to kind of pinpoint any other people outside of Max to do it. Like, even when they committed to Swerve or Hangman or whoever, it's always been a bit different, hasn't it? You know, whereas I think the only other person that I can see like breaking that 1A, 1B spot, but I think Max and MJF currently hold, would be Will. And I've had my frustrations with some of Will's booking before. Like, I would have just put the belt straight on him when he face swerved. You know what I mean? I would have just gone with that momentum. Now I understand there's counter arguments for that, and obviously we got to see the you know, why they did that, X, Y, etc., etc. But I still think there is the chance for Will to kind of like break into that, like, and be like the baby face of AEW. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I also think too of just, I think that the cool thing about AEW, and I think like what should remain cool about AEW is, yes, you are going to have the stars like Max and Swerve, who have like built themselves into like these larger than just wrestling, like, you know, what almost like these, you know, like these cultural,
Yeah.
like, you know, larger than life like figures. But I think the essence of AEW is like to have top guys who literally are only here for wrestling too. I think like they exist so Hangman and Osprey can exist. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like it's very much so an ensemble cast, you know, and I think it's different
Great
from
roster, man.
it's different from WWE, and that's why like I don't want to compare them too much because like WWE is very much so is Roman and Cody, and that like, you know, and
Yeah,
that's
it's a handful of guys, and
everybody else feels extremely small. But
yeah,
of just like, you know, in like as much of the guy and as special as Max is, as special as Swerve is, they do need these other guys, just like the other guys need them. Like it's a lot more ensemble, and I think like, you know, that's what makes it okay for Osprey to be the crazy 5-star match of the year guy. That's what makes it crazy okay for Hangman to be like the super narrative focused guy, you know, and like because you have the
Samoa
other
Joe can get a reign in, and
correct, right? And so that's like it's a much more ensemble cast. Like it's cooler in the sense of it's a lot
100%.
more unpredictable. And so like I think what that's also why Max I feel like has been succeeding in recent years, because if we remember for so many of those early years of AEW, he was only working vets and older guys. Like he wasn't working with his peers. You know, he wasn't outside of like Darby and Sammy and like Jack, and it was very clear like he was a grade ahead of them. Like it was
Yeah,
very
and
clear,
and
like,
all these like big arcs and storylines were
absolutely.
it's Cody, it's Punk, it's Jericho.
He
You know,
wasn't.
like these are people you're gonna learn shit from, bro. And
They kept him and Hangman apart, you know, from for a very long time. Even though you go back to that that original press conference, it's very clear Hangman was going to be the top babyface, like he was going to be the guy, and Max was going to be the top heel of the promotion. That was going to be the thing. They made that very clear, but they kept them apart for so many years, and you saw Max start to be able to work with his peers, and I think his entire work changed of just like being able to prove like now he isn't just good for his age, like he's really good. Like, you know, if he's not just doing these rinse and repeat storylines with I was a fan of you when I was growing up and now I hate you, and you know, like he was because that's, you know, what was happening of that they all really need each other, and I think that's what I really like. Now Cody on the other hand, Cody had a very different journey just because of like, you know, like,
Cody's had a very different
Cody's
journey, full stop. Like just
Yeah.
a weird,
I do
unique
agree.
career, man.
I do agree, like these are smart wrestlers who will always be in high demand, who will always have a job, who will always, you know, be important. They do take big swings that often miss. But I do think like it's almost unfair to Max to put anybody in a category with him because
yeah,
we shaving like almost 10 to 12 years off of these other guys' trajectory of how early he did this.
If anything, it's more like in kind of the point we started with of just like the real top, like the tippy top guys that like will take these swings. It's like if anything, instead of like putting him in a different category, it's more just like a huge compliment that Max can even be mentioned in these
Absolutely.
sort of
1000%.
conversations. Because when I say like the tippy top guys, I'm talking like in the business there's less than 10. Do you know what I mean? There's less. There's about just over 4. You know, you've got, you know, the obvious ones: Cody, Punk, Reigns. In AEW, I'd say MJF, Mox. You know, you've got like Becky Lynch, Tony Storm. Mercedes. But even like Mercedes, because she's not won the world title yet and she hasn't been like put into that position to be the top woman in AEW. And obviously we all know the story of WWE. If we're talking just strictly star power, 100%, but I'm just talking like positioning.
But I do think like Mercedes is just kind of, it's almost like, well, even before when Bryan Danielson came to AEW, even before he won the world title, it was very clear he is one of the top stars in the company, and I one of the top stars in the industry still. And I think like Mercedes is exactly that. Even if she never wins the AEW world title, which
I know, but I think with Mercedes as well, I do think we do for like for the sake of this conversation. Like Mercedes, like she's fucking, we can't put her over enough or emphasize how big of a legend she is in this business, But I do think there is, and I think it's coming like very soon as well, that like for the sake of this particular conversation, like, I do think there is an element of like I would definitely like to see her actually because we know the story of WWE. Yes, she won world titles there, but there was always kind of an asterisk of like, oh, they didn't do this, or they didn't let her do this, or they didn't let her spread her wings in this way or that way, or she had to fucking carry this person or that person or whatever it was, And it's felt like WWE never truly like went with Mercedes the way they did with like Charlotte or Becky, Then obviously in AEW, even though we do feel like AEW has that confidence and belief in her to do that, and we've seen basically glimpses of that, I would like to see her be.
It hasn't happened yet.
You know what I mean? Like to actually see her be the North Star in AEW. Do you know what I mean? To see her be the person that everything evolves around, like it was with Tony recently.
Naturally, we don't have a choice. I think as soon as like that report came out, Tony Storm is out for a while. I said I am fascinated to see what does it actually look like for Mercedes to be QB1 of a promotion.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
one thing she has never done. Like she's never been QB1. Even like she was. I think her and Tony were equals up to a point, but she was definitely still QB2. I'm interested, and I think also too is really interesting because while they were building Tony and Mercedes as this infallible QB1 and QB2, there was very little, if anything, given to anybody else's. So like there is no backup quarterback right now. I think Thecla's doing incredible work as world champion. I think that Willow is, has so much potential in the second title right now that she's like out of like the Babes of Wrath vortex. But there's nobody.
Babes of Wrath vortex.
Babes of Wrath vortex is crazy.
I've worked really hard to keep my feelings on this really wrapped up tight, man.
I did not. I do.
I did not.
You know what I do to not.
I was ready.
About.
I was ready to move on.
Well, I've resorted to kind of not get mad about Willow or like her not being like AEW men's and women's world champion simultaneously and everything else that she deserves in this cruel world, I just don't watch. I will not watch the Babes of Wrath, bro. Because I just get like, I know they're done now after this weekend, but like, because I just watch it and I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Like, I can't not think about. I can't just disconnect and enjoy a Babes of Wrath match, Like, I'm just like, what's Willow doing here, bro? Like,
I look back and I just think about the fact of think about that moment. At the end of the year when Willow wins the title, you do the big stat reunion, and I'm just thinking about like we could have actually done something with this. We could have gone somewhere with this, but I realized that the entire point of doing this was to get Harley over and to protect Harley. And when you think about that, and you think about like how long Willow and Stat have been there, and like the magic that they've created together, and do these things, and the fact that there's so much left on the table because this was all meant to be a vehicle for Harley.
Yeah.
Which is
this is what I mean. Just don't watch it, Livy.
And when you talk about it, people are just like, "Oh my god, you guys are so mean." I have nothing against Harley Cameron. I think she's
great.
I think she's so charismatic.
She's really fun.
But the point is, AEW doesn't have a mid card, and we have now established people as peers that are not peers. That they're not peers, and it all really started with that puppet in Australia, and because then people were really convinced that Harley was Mercedes' peer, and then we really have all spiraled from there.
That was a crazy time period. People being like, Harley has to win. I was like, guys,
insane couple of weeks.
That was a crazy time.
God.
That was a crazy time. Like the conversations that we have had of just like, and we're saying things of like, oh yeah, such and such, but she works really hard. Everybody works really hard. Have you seen Megan Bain, nigga? She working every weekend. Oh my god,
Maya World, all
like,
these people they're working so hard, bro. Like,
the highest paid woman in wrestling has an indie schedule a mile long, and you want to talk to me about like who's working hard and who's not?
Trust Mercedes isn't even too good to be. Bro, Mercedes gets announced for shows, and it looks like the poster was made on fucking Microsoft Paint or something, bro. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
Like what are we saying? Like y'all, what are we saying? Even to the point to where it's just like I think that's kind of, for me, that's where I struggle with like Thekla right now. It's just like I think he's great. But Triangle Madness as her backup is just not believable. I just don't think that like is believable. I don't think that like, especially when you see like these other teams that are forming. Do you see Lena Cross and Megan Bain?
They've got to figure some things out when it comes to like the women's hierarchy and structuring, because the things that we say about like the men's that we've just had the conversation about like how that hierarchy and how they all engage with each other, like we don't have that in the women's division. But anyway,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, cause I've only got like 5 minutes. I need to get out of here. But last super chat, Danny Quaring, $5. Appreciate you as always. What do you guys think happens with the Callum and Osprey story? United Empire Civil War. Osprey do 1 versus all against the Empire. Lyric, I'm throwing this one to you.
Yeah, I had a theory about this, but I'm not sure. Because the Don Callis family stuff over in AEW is going at 0.5 speed. But and also too about like I'm not sure about like Kyle Fletcher's like injury status right now. I hope he's good.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
But if I could see like if the story goes to where like Kyle does eventually leave the Don Callis family, and if it happens before Forbidden Door, I could see like Osprey, Fletcher, maybe Davis if they can get him out too. Reluctantly, getting back together to like have to like take down what United Empire has become under Callum's rule, maybe like for Forbidden Door, because like I know they're going to do a singles match. I'm not sure if they're going to do the singles match at Forbidden Door, because I think like at that time, unless you could have Will win there as long as he gives the win back later. Not sure when later would be, maybe Power Struggle, something like that. I don't know.
Newman's still only like 23, isn't he? So
yeah,
he is, but they
obviously believe in him quite a lot for the position he's already been thrusted into.
Correct. So I could see that.
There is layers,
but I also think like they could just do like they could do the singles match. I think honestly, it's going to look very similar to Osprey versus Omega. I think it's going to be. I could even see Will doing like this 80-20 match with Callum and beating his ass like that first time. Very similar like how Kenny did him. And then like this revenge match is just
fireworks.
Crazy. Like, I think it's going to look very similar to that. Or it's just interesting because like the timing, Forbidden Door is going to happen before All In, obviously, Will's going to be headlining All In. So, but I also know like he does what he wants, and he loves Callum, and so he's going to be willing to do just about anything, to make sure that he's like the biggest star in the world after that.
Yeah, it's going to be Now speaking of Osprey, tomorrow is Dynamite is wrestling Pack. You've got MJF and Kenny Omega's contract signing. Is there any other like big matches that they're doing on Dynamite tomorrow? I usually don't check the cards, but those are 2 that you just can't like.
There's a trios match.
You don't forget about that.
It's Jack Perry, Brody King, and Kenny versus The Demand.
God bless.
And then there's Mina and the Brawling Birds versus Triangle of Madness. I might not even watch that. I'll be honest. I'm kind of.
Listen, like I said about the Willow stuff, even if it's the wrestlers that you love with all your heart, like I love Willow, yeah, like. I can't watch babes. And thank fuck I don't have to anymore, you know. But like, I couldn't watch the babes because I don't even hate Harley either. It's just couldn't do it. We're
just not peers, and I think it's also you mean to tell me that like this was we did all this and we built it up all these people just to get over Harley Cameron, but Athena can't come on TV. I'm about to do something to you.
All right, before we get too fired up, and also because I need to run, we're gonna wrap it up. So appreciate you guys. Any quick plugs, Phil, Lyric, anything really quick you want to throw in there?
I can't think of anything for myself right now, but want to plug Black Girl Wrestling. Willow Nightingale is going to be on April 1st. I'm super excited for Danny. Super excited. Some people thought she was well, she does lie a lot, but you know, I get it. And then she decided to like run the interview on April 1st. But I can confirm it is real. So check out Black Girl Wrestling. Willow Nightingale. The interview will be out tomorrow.
Phil, Grapsody, repping the hoodie.
Yeah, Grapsody will be back at its normal time slot, Saturday, noon Eastern. We got a Maya World interview up on our YouTube channel. Check that out. I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
Oh, yeah, as always, I appreciate you guys. And, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. Peace.